Good morning, everyone. Apologies on the late start this morning. Right. I'm good, man. Just got a little carried away. Got up like around 3:40. Um closed some trades that I had on Nasdaq. So I had a Nasdaq long position that I added to at the very bottom of yesterday's drop and got a pretty nice solid movement up. Just before the end of the day, I added to ES, which I ended up getting out of ES as well. So I'm looking for ES and Nasdaq to continue to the upside. Let's see. Oh, oh, wrong one. Good morning, Ronnie. Good morning. A little late today. Okay. I'm holding on SPY. Okay, what strike price are you looking on SPY? So let's look. Tesla 1 hour time frame looks really good for a movement up to 255. Nvidia's looking really good as well. I like Nvidia for a 440 target. Remember, guys, tomorrow is Thursday. Yeah, so tomorrow's Thursday, and we have Fed chairs speaking along with Fed Chair Powell. So tomorrow, Fed Chair Powell is going to speak, and I kind of feel whatever he's going to say is going to really cause the market to shoot up. But let's see, because everything is like really super oversold. Apple looks good as well. I would like Apple for a movement back up to 177. Meta's looking good. I like Meta for a 306 plus, probably 308 TP. So I'm looking at Meta possibly to raid these highs. Right now this is good. We had our low, ran up, pulled back, we created a higher low, we're consolidating. So I like Meta for a movement up. Microsoft, uh, I like Microsoft for a 325 target. So all the analysis I'm giving you right now are based off of the 1 hour. 1 hour AMD looks good for a movement back up to 100. Netflix, yeah. A turnaround is definitely coming because all of these tech companies are massively oversold. So going back to NQ. Hey, good morning, Nate. Any positions? No, no positions at the moment. I am, however, again, I'm looking for dip buys today. So let's see if we can follow through. Damn, what's going on? Okay, here we go. Okay. Um, um, Spy looks good, man. I really like Spy for a 432 plus move. ZL, possible pullback. Setting an alert if ZL gets back under 58, or at least 57, 57.50. At or below. Blah, boom, boom. Okay. Just a moment. I got one more chart to set up. Currently setting up my institutional levels. I'm a little late on this. 33, 651. 8.
stocks should do after earnings by how many price target boosts there are. And sometimes it's contrary to the way the stock acts initially. Costco. There were 6 firms that commented on their earnings last night. All 6 raised numbers. The stock 12 now. All 6 raised.
Drop on Dow. Ooh, ES with a slide.
They didn't raise prices for members. They keep saying that they might do that. Rich Galanti is the unbelievably good CFO. Always says, hey, listen, could happen.
Order filled.
Taking along on ES at 43.27 even. I'm long ES at 43.27 even. Up 3 points.
Listing anniversary. Jim, the other color out of Costco was that
There we go.
gaming are looking pretty good, but computers and notebooks not so much.
No, that's true, but they are moving up Christmas. I mean, they're starting Christmas right now. We talk about going early, but that's what the customers want. Look, the hard goods have not been great. I do think that when you think about what Lisa Sue's saying in A&D, and we talk about what Micron might be saying tonight when they report, you're going to have a brand new PC cycle. And it's certainly worth waiting at this point, given how that new PC cycle is going to be exciting. What's going to make it exciting is
Moving stop loss to break even, just in case. In fact, you know what? I'm taking 2 points out. Not liking this pullback.
I'd like to tell them exactly what I'm allergic to. I'm allergic to sardines and to anchovies.
Is that true?
Yes.
Dow's looking good.
Blood pressure goes to 50 over 80.
All right, we'll stay away from those. Make sure not to eat them.
Yeah, well, King Oscar in a can, we've got to let him out.
It does feel as though when it comes to AI, though, at this point we're sort of at a low.
Nice, get it.
Of excitement of investor interest or excitement right now. But by the way, we're not even in. I hate to use the baseball analogy.
Are you really going to go there? Ahead of the playoffs?
Give me just a minute.
The earliest days.
Well, look, I think that when you're at Dreamforce.
All right. I took 2 points on ES. I'm looking. What's going on here? That was just plummeting. NASDAQ holding up somewhat.
They were catches that PCs, right? But I do think that you're going to say, wait a second, if I can get a PC
Tempted.
that I can talk to, that gets to use my
Okay, ZL.
Enrique Lore is that HP is going to sell to you. And I think it's going to be an interesting opportunity to buy HP, which is down from 33 to 20.
Okay, ZL with the pullback. See if I can get my
Opportunity
my
is in the data center still, and it's largely
addition
filled by one company.
off of her.
A&D is expecting to be able to compete in certain areas. And would argue, I think, that the pie is big enough that it's not like a winner-take-all situation.
And I proposed that to her, and it seemed like
Ooh.
it's Renee Haas.
Baby girl.
Well, that's all.
Right, that it's ARM. And,
Yo, yo, what it do?
which, by the way, is Jensen.
Chilling, my G. Chilling.
Danny's booth when he started.
So what is going on this morning? Okay, so CL's pulled back wonderfully a lot lower. I think it might come down to 57.50.
Came up, cooked up the idea of this revolutionary change. Yep.
Just incredible, $1 trillion company. By the way, I have to tell you that in terms of cafeteria food, NVIDIA the best I've ever had.
Really?
Nope.
NVIDIA tops the list.
She was like, nah, B. So I have an alert at 57.51. If she comes down and holds there, I'll start to scale back in. I'll also set an alert at 57.25.
Would you like me to just talk about the Cloudflare Meta collaboration?
Whew, man, my exit was on point, man, and I was trying to get like another 20 points. I wanted to get out fully at 58.50, but I'm like, damn it, yo, this thing just, it's done a run already. I'm like, do I even want to?
You got nothing. You got a whole lot of nothing. That's good. You got nowhere to fall.
Yeah. Yo.
Overall, the markets, Jim, I want to get you on oil while I have you here.
Well, I'm focused on oil because I really think that the shorts in the 10-year are
Yeah.
the largest short position in the history.
I bet. So yeah, so I just started scaling in at 57.80. I'll add at like 57, and if it goes lower.
Change their mind and go against their
Ooh.
own, obviously incredibly successful move to get oil higher. But they're so far not worried about the United States. They've always been worried about the United States starting to pump, but
Yeah,
as
what
David
is
says,
really
there's
good?
tremendous conviction among our oil companies collectively.
Well, but you're making a point, as you did earlier, that they're not being rewarded for.
Jeez, well, what's going on this morning?
Shareholders, and they're not going to be rewarded for putting capital into the ground, for developing new.
Looking at NASDAQ and ES, bro, like NASDAQ is just dropping and popping 20, 15 points at a time. ES is pulling back. I did snag a nice 2 points on ES.
Not 23.
Yeah, but this when I look at
Bro. Bro, the alert that I had,
We do have also, by the way, upgraded Loxy today. Yeah, that's BFA.
the alert that I had at 88.10, it came 9 points shy of triggering, and then it was just a massive reversal.
Some people say at the top, but and they did buy the end of our several months away from that.
Yes, I do, of course.
Yeah, natural gas gapped up. Contract rollover.
For a period, however, they came through it. You fought expectedly. You followed up.
Okay.
I feel much better.
You're happy that I actually. Well, I do remember that well.
We do have to look. If you're you need some break in inflation somewhere in the chain, and you didn't get it with durable goods.
damn.
And Case Shiller yesterday was July housing. You didn't get it with that. You're not getting it with the
Yep.
oils. They're not coming.
I'm setting an alert on oil at 91.20, 91.19 at or below.
Situation.
If it comes there, I'm buying. This thing is going to 100.
1 to 2% is their view for Q4. They said
She's
it trended
going
down,
to 100.
quarter. Negative year in non-food, which was encouraging.
I thought that yes, I thought that the Costco was perhaps
list. The one citing,
Okay, ES is still pulling back. Might create a double bottom at the 4305. Bro, I was tight. I completely missed the gap on ES at on the daily chart at 4306 even. Yeah, that was to the downside. Nah, that was to the downside, bro. I was long. I took a small loss at 43.15 and a half, and I ended up getting long at that bottom, and I caught like a nice 15-point movement to the upside. Yeah, this thing's just yo, and damn, yo, they're on the same BS again.
to a certain extent. I mean, we talked a lot about shrink, of which theft is the largest single component by far, at least in this current period. And we've talked about Target the most because they've given us the highest numbers that really turn your head.
120% increase in theft incidents involving violence or threats of violence. And I know there were many different cross currents about why they closed these stores, but I continue to believe that they are worried about the safety of the people who are at the register. If you remember, in April of last year, someone at the register at Home Depot was killed because they tried to stop theft. And that's what Brian Cornell's worried about. Brian Cornell, in many ways, is not
Keep on
about
coming.
EPS. He's trying to protect the workers. Can't protect them in those stores. Walmart's got a police precinct in one of their stores. Well, that ought to do it, right?
You would think.
Gold plummet.
Meanwhile, the stock is down.
Dow Jones has gone from green to red on the day. Jeez.
That's why Costco, when they were asked about it, was like, okay, things, perhaps a little down year over year. Costco. And the theft, by the way, is at the self-check, which is a little more like, you know, people just kind of just leave. Yeah, do you use self-check?
I do with the Whole Foods around the corner here.
I do too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try scaling in on
It's not bad.
NQ with a micro at 14,761.
There's another one-year low. Gordon Haskett today cuts to hold 137.
Did they not been to the one in Coney Island? They're crushing it. Okay, so Burlington, to me, is exactly what you shouldn't downgrade when it's down 35% and they've got terrific items. But it's TJX that has now pulled back from 93 to 88 that I think is really sensational. I really, really like that one.
I'm not sure as to what the news is that's causing the Dow to drop. I know it might have something to do with the whole Ford and other manufacturing car companies that their workers are going on strike, or they want like a 40% increase in pay. That could be having an effect on why the Dow Jones is just taking a nosedive.
So, as TD Cowen initiates Outperform 16,
Worldwide pants.
yeah, they do talk about early innings of a favorable denim cycle.
The denim cycle.
Yep.
Oh my God, the denim cycle. The 98 denim cycle. I took that denim cycle to the moon with True Religion. Remember that?
I remember Jordache.
The Jordache look. Yes.
You're welcome.
Remember the inventory keeping of Jordache?
Yes, actually, Jordache did run into
Well,
some
Levi's is down a great deal. Chip is retiring. We got Michelle Goss coming in there, and I do think that it's got a good yield. But my problem with this is that I don't want to be Levi pants unless it's Lululemon. Because Lululemon, they can buy Mirror for a fortune, write it off in a couple of years, and it's not, and the stock doesn't even blink.
Great piece earlier in the week about how it's managed to be cool to both parents and their teenage kids.
It is.
It's not easy to do.
Stores are packed. They've got great looking stuff. I think even you, David, have probably shop Lulu.
I have actually.
Nice.
Yeah, I have. I've been in there, bought a few things
Right
for
It's like the playoffs. Like the Phillies. Really good coming in the playoffs.
Yeah, so we had a gap on ES to the downside, which we filled yesterday. Okay,
I'm curious to know your
okay.
thoughts about this
Ooh, there goes NQ. Damn, baby.
language on
We did. That they say is favorable, of course. It's figuring so prominently into what it's doing in terms of
Oh,
future earnings.
NQ, how are
They have
ya?
control over the product they create over time, and that they won't be replaced, so to speak. The actors may have a bit more to worry about in that regard, and it's certainly going to be an important component of the negotiations they have in terms of using likeness and the like, and what you have licensed or not. By the way, we should be thinking about these things too, frankly. Nothing says that 20 years hence somebody could recreate this very trio. We look the same too, which would be great.
Not nearly as entertaining.
Okay.
Chat's yes, man. You can get chat to say what you wanted to.
Yeah, but 20 years from now, chat's going to be doing a lot more.
It'll be
In
much
fact,
better.
a year from now, 2 years from now, it's going to keep.
If people keep grading chat, I saw a school, this professor who graded chat. Chat finished like 75. Michael Sambos is grading chat.
Keep it going.
Chat's obviously not working in our game.
No, we're on 4. You know, they're working on 7. I mean, it's going to be. By the way, that's GPT, and then you've got obviously Bard and other efforts that are underway. It's going to become such a more powerful tool. We know that generative AI. There's no doubt about it. But yeah, it could be 5 years that we're fully recreated.
When I was out there,
Full image of you.
it's going to make us better. All it's going to do is make us better.
You're in that camp.
Yeah,
The better camp.
I am in the better camp. Why shouldn't I be? Copilot makes you better. Copilot makes you so much more productive, David.
All right,
It doesn't.
no, listen, I think that's great. I think we will be incredibly productive, and then we will be
Replaced.
correct.
Well, I was with someone from the radio industry, my old friend, this weekend. It didn't even take ChatGPT to wet that industry.
Artificial general intelligence. Let me know when we get there.
You know who just joined us on set? Jim. Sarah Osling. Yeah.
So nice.
Holy cow.
Well, I heard we had some breaking news.
Always good to see you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as we mentioned, it is a special day around here. For our own friend, David Faber. Today marks 30 years since David started his remarkable career here at CNBC. And now, normally we would do some sort of like look back. We would have a lot of people just going on and say, "Oh, I really like David. David's terrific." Or people talk about David too, which is something that everybody is jealous about. But we've done that already so many times. It's painful. So this time we decided to reach out to someone. I don't know.
Damn, the movements is vicious on Nasdaq.
See, for thoughts on David's illustrious career, take a look.
I don't care.
See, you just don't care.
That's one way to look at it. Just like especially Gerard. Yeah. You didn't care, did you? But we want to bring on someone who actually does care a great deal, and maybe the most important chief executive in your life. Okay. Can we bring her on?
Yeah, where? Oh my God, my mother.
So much choppiness. I'm looking for longs. I have a buy limit on NQ. Yeah, I'm looking for longs on NQ, and I think the Dow is going to reverse shortly.
Just saw her the other day. So.
30th anniversary is perks. I like she's a good person.
That's right. You were going to get payment for
Let's go to the board next week.
Little
Do
wait
you remember when David said,
today.
"I got this new gig at this place called CNBC"?
Yeah.
Did you think it would last?
Okay.
She was doing news.
Oof. Yeah. So I got filled at 14,781. I'm trading the micros just because I'm just not liking this back and forth that it's doing. No clear direction yet, even though I am long biased. Mm.
But you know that. Love her. She knows that. But even was late in the game for me.
She's still in the market, so you know.
Missed it.
Thank you, sir.
When you look good for
Nice little something.
It is an amazing thing to think about your life guesswork, which this obviously is for me. And as a
435 on ES.
working with people I love every day so hard and have such great respect. And well beyond.
Yeah, that's definitely a heavy resistance on ES there. So once those orders have been taken out, we'll end up seeing it fly. Yesterday, that was part of the reason why yesterday I closed out and I flipped to the short side, because it was brought to my attention that we had a gap to the downside at 4306. So and plus we had like a 230 something contracts blocking it at 4315.75. So I was just like, man, let me take this, ride it to the low, to the gap fill, and then flip. So yeah, so that's a massive order block right there, but it'll end up getting taken out, because remember, there's still upside gaps to be filled on both ES, NASDAQ, and Dow Jones. So up here, there's a small gap that needs to be filled. On NASDAQ, we have a gap at 15,800 and another at 15,943. So, and currently where we're at, we're almost 1,000 points away from there. Well, from the 800, we're a little over 1,000 points from it. From the 900, we're 1,100 points away.
I heard interviews this year, so it's been PGA Live, so it's always interesting, guys. I mean, you know that from the early days when you and I first started together, when you were a hedge fund manager, watch the internet being created essentially in the tech bubble through the global financial crisis that we dealt with. That was really the most overwhelming time I could remember.
Gold hasn't had no legs all week long. Let's take a look at the daily.
I was fascinated with the Elon Musk.
Okay. Daily time frame on gold. Ooh. The next support that I'm seeing on the daily for gold is at 1863.7.
Oh gosh, you mean the documentary? Yeah, so your dad liked.
My dad watched it over and over. He said, "Look, I love Amazon, but look at Dave's piece."
Think about
So 1863, and then after that,
it's great, but you always want more. That's why I'm still doing this. You always want
1816.
Every big interview, it's always.
I know, like the
I missed the
Exxon is so great.
opportunity.
You're the least self-aggrandizing, most self-denigrating person that I've ever worked with.
Thank you. Thank you, Jim.
So humble.
It's a pleasure. It really
So
is.
yeah, so I think gold is gonna end up coming all the way down to 1863. So I'm not going to be a buyer. If anything, I probably look for some kind of retracement for this thing to continue to the downside. Whew, this is brutal. Y'all see this?
Yeah, it's not making us morose.
I get to watch him every day.
Prius Saturn
Do you still call in with tips?
Yeah.
Your hair's was out of place. You got some shorts now?
No, the only thing she says is to tell Jim that she loves him. That's it. That's basically what I get.
And I've loved you for years and years.
So as we can see, rejection, rejection, flop. Daily chart. How it looked on the 4-hour. Beautiful. Beautiful. So this is why I stress charting on the higher time frame, because the higher time frame will give you the overall direction. Right here on NASDAQ, we can look at several areas. And also, let me show you guys something on NASDAQ, which probably another reason why I won't go too heavy and just trade the micros, because on a daily time frame on NASDAQ, we could still drop all the way down to 14,566. So this is a gap that has yet to be filled, okay, on this contract. So where we stand, we're looking at another 200-point movement to the downside on NASDAQ. Now, once that gap has been filled, then I'll be inclined to start really scaling in for the fill of the gaps to the upside. So be on the lookout. It might hit this tomorrow when Powell talks. So yeah, so speaking of that, I'm gonna and if we have some kind of good news from Biden visiting these manufacturers and the people that are on strike, if we have some kind of good report off of that, that will cause a nice bounce to the upside on the market. Mm-hmm. Um, this UAW strike is what's causing the Dow Jones to drop and what's causing a lot of this sell off. So once we get a decent confirmation, that's once it starts to look like it's gonna get resolved, that's when we could really see a movement to the upside. So given all this turmoil is probably why I'm trading the micros instead of the minis today. She gonna break it, man. She gonna break it. Dude, and what's crazy, yesterday I was going over the NASDAQ chart and every contract after this contract are all gap ups. So yeah. So that means like literally every contract all the way till September 2024 are going to be anywhere from like 100 to 200 point gap up, which means we're going to be looking for downside movements. hmm I went all the way till September 2024. So current contracts expire in 79 days, which is in December. The following contract, which expires in March, that one is trading almost 200 points. The one after that is also trading another 200, almost 200 points, and so forth. So like, yeah, it's just on top of. It's just gonna be Gap City, like. Yeah, so yesterday after missing that massive gap up on ES, I was like, let me look at these things on the daily, and I went from Nasdaq, Dow Jones, ES, and Dow. They've both filled that daily gap. The only one that hasn't done it is Nasdaq. Yeah. Ooh. And particularly, I'm not really liking this action right now. Yep. Yep. Oof. Mm. Closing broker up on the day. Trade. Yeah, definitely do that. You don't want to over trade, or you don't want to force trades. Like the action right now is just, unless you're shorting, you're doing like quick shorts, quick scalp shorts. You know, you can do that, but overall on the long side, I mean, just overall, like it's a lot of back and forth. It's popping 10, 15 points, dropping 10, 15 points. So this is just massive back and forth. It hasn't fully given direction. And as you can see on the 1 hour time frame, even though we gradually increase, but we've just been pretty much going sideways. Really need to see NASDAQ close above 14,805 to have confirmation that, okay, this thing is ready to go. But where it stands right now, it's just not looking pretty. It's
Costco's in the green after beating estimates. We'll break down the quarter later this hour. Plus, watching Tesla, Deutsche Bank trimming the price target on the name to 285 per share this morning, citing limited volume growth.
yep. And look at that. There she goes. Today is just. Ugh. Well, glad I took my 2 points on ES, cause yeah, everything's sliding, bro. Back down below 43.20. I mean, solid double top at 43.36 area, which was the area that I just couldn't get above yesterday on the bounce.
That we pull in advance. And I thought the response on
Yeah.
inflation was interesting because we asked over the next 18 months inflation will do what? So 59%.
What was like this? Like, let's take a look at some of the. Let me look at HE. HE looks pretty decent. Nice. Nice, nice.
And what that might mean ultimately for policy, and whether it gets us into a stagflationary environment where we have higher inflation but lower economic growth. That's the contemplation.
That's possible. Today, JP Morgan says the yield surge has not been matched, as you said, by any kind of rise in break-evens. So they figure
HE looks decent.
not fundamentally driven.
Technical.
LE with a nice gap up as well.
Also, I've heard that it's supply issue and
CW ain't doing jack.
factoring in there. It's not necessarily correlated. The odds of rate hikes have moved up a little bit, but maybe not to the extent to which yields have risen. And then on the inflation
Tesla
side,
with a
Costco
pull.
commentary was notable.
Nvidia's positive, but it's pulling back.
Comment on inflation and the consumer and
Apple,
their estimate for Q4
Jesus.
That's okay.
Microsoft,
Trended down during the quarter.
AMD, pop was pulling back. Netflix, pop pulling back. Amazon, pop pulling back. Yo, bears are in control. Good. Yeah, Euro's been dropping for the past 2 weeks. Just everything is dropping.
It's layered on, and it depends who you ask, and we won't really know until we see the Fed go the other way, or inflation come down a little bit more meaningfully, or the economy start to fall. But I do know this. Yesterday, we got consumer confidence that missed. We got home sales that were weak. That should be positive for bonds. That should be buying bonds with yields lower, and they reverse the other way. And so there is something going on out there about whether it's the deficit, whether it's all the supply that needs to happen, or whether it's technical in nature. We'll have to wait. Look, because it's your 30th
ZL back over 58.
because you ask me about it every day. So there's the peak, right, during COVID. Can we pull up the balance sheet again? $9 trillion. And I'm glad you asked because actually
This morning,
something funky happened.
she didn't. Yesterday's high was 57.95, I think.
It's just the QT, the fact that the Fed is trimming the balance sheet. And why it's important is because it is it's de facto tightening, and it could also be
You
one
talking
of
about
these
Friday? Friday's high was
Right, but that does put a
59.90, 92.
Yeah, we're eight trillion instead of 9 trillion. But the direction is important, and it could be a headwind for stocks and for bonds.
no doubt. And simple percentages say, well, when you're going from 7 to 6, it's going to have more of an impact as well. So
Keep going down. You know, so far the Fed hasn't
Right.
really gone there in terms of using the balance sheet as a tool for offsetting weaker economic growth, but we know they will if they have to, because they have done so before. And that's maybe comforting to the market, but I'd watch it because it could be part of the reason why we're having some discomfort in the market.
Dump City.
Our next guest says the economy is doing well thanks to consumers defying the gravitational pull of the aggressive Fed tightening, but does see more downside risks in stocks.
Yo, the reversal, bro, is gonna be so freaking epic.
I'm worried about everything that everybody else is worried about. Nothing really that original. I mean, clearly, the number one issue for me is inflation. If inflation continues to come down as I think it will, that'll offset a lot of the problems that are out there. Some of the problems are short-term in nature. I think a government shutdown, if it occurs, won't last that long. The UAW strike is going to be settled at some point here. But the key is inflation. And in terms of the conversation you just had, I think supply is an issue now all of a sudden with regards to the deficit. I think ever since the government debt was downgraded on August 1st, people have been focusing on the deficit issue. And if inflation comes down,
Sweet short.
kind of live with the deficit issue. If inflation kind of stays sticky here, I think we're going to have a real problem with the deficit issue. And my friends, the bond vigilantes may need to come into the force here to really convince politicians that we've got to do something more fundamental about reducing the long-term outlook for the deficit.
We are very fortunate to have you, Ed, because aren't you the coiner of the term bond vigilantes in the early 80s?
Yes.
That's your claim to fame. So are you saying the bond
My claim to
vigilantes are going to come to the U.S.?
I'll be on my tombstone.
Yeah, exactly. That's major. That's a big distinction. That's like
That's the sweet spot. It gets over that.
Absolutely. I mean, I think the Biden administration should put James Carville on their payroll and talk to him. Because James Carville told Bill Clinton back in the early 1990s that he better keep the deficit down or else the bond vigilantes are going to get him. He didn't say the bond vigilantes, but he said that if, when he's reborn, he'd like to be reborn as the bond market because it's so powerful. And the bond vigilantes have been kind of sleepy for a long time here. But they're waking up, and that's a danger for the economy. That's a danger for the stock market. But again, if inflation continues to moderate, as I think it is and will continue to, then I think that'll buy us some more time on the supply issue.
So inflation comes down. You think the Fed won't have to be as aggressive,
Right.
and that calms some of the fears over fiscal. That's the best case scenario.
That's the best case scenario. That's the one that's my baseline. But as you said, I'm worried about everything the way everybody else is these days.
Can the market continue to rally though? Because part of the stock market story has been the soft landing, that we've done all this and so far gotten away with lower inflation and not a recession.
Yeah,
That has to happen too, right?
Absolutely. I've been in the soft landing camp since early last year. I argued that we were in a recession, but it was a rolling recession. Right now, I think the issue is whether the economy can continue to grow. And I think the answer is yes. I found myself in a position arguing now that the economy is going to slow, whereas since early last year, I was arguing that here's why it's not going to fall into recession. I think all in all, we've got an economy that's pretty resilient. In terms of the stock market, I thought that we'd get to 4,600 by year end. When we basically got there at the end of July, I concluded we're probably going to stay around this level, that the second half will be a little tougher than the first half. I did think we might
See this alert?
retest the 200-day moving average.
88.10.
200 right now.
88.10.
I think we'll have a year-end rally that'll get us back to something like 4,600.
Look at the
Why?
low.
Because I think the government shutdown will be behind us. The UAW.
The low is
strike will be behind us, and if I'm lucky,
88.19.
if we're lucky, we'll see inflation coming down and
like,
the economy
Just wanna
slowing.
cry.
Yeah, Ed, I know some people were pushing you to hike your target for year end even more to 4,800. You
let's go.
resisted, and that's paying off, I guess, at the moment. Some argue that the desks are out today saying, well, the bulls can argue that there's a more supportive backdrop going into earnings season. But then last night you posted a chart of earnings expectations actually ticking a little bit lower for the September 21st
nice.
week. That's not great.
No, it's not great, but it's 1 week, and we do watch it. You know, it's kind of my responsibility if I'm going to, you know, watch all these things to
Hell of a
take people
drop.
on what's
Hell of a
going on.
rejection
And it is
too.
what it is. I think some of this concerns about the government shutdown, about the
This thing
UAW
is
strike,
just cold,
may have
bro.
affected the latest week's earnings. But as you know, the analysts for the past several weeks, which I think is more relevant, is they've been actually increasing their earnings estimates.
Better safe than
this year,
sorry,
next
bro.
year,
Better
and for
safe than sorry.
2025. So I'd go with that trend of the past several weeks rather than suddenly conclude that this latest 1 week weakness is an issue. But I'm watching it.
Ed, Bond Vigilante father, I guess we can call you. Thank you very much. That's what it'll
you.
say. Appreciate
Get
it.
it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
As we head to break, here is our roadmap for the rest of the hour. The FTC's Lena Khan takes aim at Amazon. More on what it means for the name and the rest of big tech after the break.
Plus, just a few hours from the results out of Micron, we're going to give you more on what to expect this hour.
And we'll get some top tech picks from one of the street's top fund managers. Big show still ahead. Don't go anywhere.
She might take out yesterday's lows. Brutal. Goodness gracious, what a drop. And killed the short scalp one. It's alright, guys. Hey, at least you made something out of it. Uh-oh. Alright, so NQ right now is bouncing off of a 70 fib retracement. Not a bad spot. It's a quick little bounce, but damn. Yo. EU just no legs. That's how you want to do it. Make your money and dip.
So this lawsuit is fundamentally about protecting free and fair competition. And the U.S. antitrust laws prohibit firms from using their monopoly power to punish or preclude or prevent competition. And that's what our lawsuit lays out that Amazon has done.
That's FTC Chair Lena Khan earlier this morning discussing the commission's lawsuit against
Please
Amazon
don't tell
on
me
antitrust
NQ is about
charges.
to go for
Our next
the
guest says the FTC complaints are
about to go for
lawful,
that gap
with some
fill.
caveats. Former assistant AG and Stanford University law professor Doug Melliman joins us now. He was also a top attorney in the DOJ's successful antitrust case against Microsoft.
Everything has now gone from green to red on the day.
Hard to read a lot into this, I guess, with all the redactions and not knowing Amazon's defense, but you're not dismissing it outright, it sounds like.
No, this is potentially a very serious complaint, I think.
it alleges that like the Microsoft case, like the U.S. case against Google, it alleges that Amazon has a monopoly in online search, in online marketplace, and engaged in anti-competitive conduct to prevent competition that might undermine that monopoly power.
We were talking earlier about the 17 states and whether or not that's just political inertia, or if that number is significant in some way.
Well, it's a big number.
Respecting the fib so far.
It's actually quite a smaller number, substantially smaller than the number of states that joined the FTC's case against Meta.
Oh, hell no, you can't be giving up.
So that's an interesting question. Where are the other states? Why aren't they joining this complaint? It's possible they have local political reasons. It's possible they have concerns about the complaint.
How important is the definition of the market itself, this idea of the online superstore, which may not be something we've typically thought about as a market in and of itself?
Yeah, that one, I mean, it looks a little bit contrived because they're comparing Amazon to Walmart and just a couple of others and eliminating other kinds of online sales. It will be very important, but they've alleged two markets, and if they can prove either of them, they probably will be able to prove.
When it comes to trading, man, if you really want it, you will be tested. I mean, I'll probably say that goes for just anything in life, right? Whenever you really want something in life, like, you're gonna be tested. Like, do you really want it? And it's in those moments of difficulties and setbacks and doubts that will determine, do you want it or do you want it, right? And if you really do, you will put up with what you need to put up with. You'll continue to work on whatever, was causing you to slip and fall. Yes, and also things shopping for regional.
Do you see this one as different?
That's what's up. Some teamwork in here. I like that.
Two kinds of anti-competitive conduct. One, I think, is fairly weak. That has to do with requiring.
Okay, GL looking saucy.
Amazon's fulfillment centers. But the other allegation by Amazon to suppress price competition is the fact support very substantial claim.
Nice. What you mean, like 5 CTs?
Sorry, I forgot my question.
What's your average?
Some text. Carl,
Hey, Doug, I'll pick it up and just ask whether or not you think there is some degradation in integrity to the agency, given what we've at least read about regarding the split between leadership and staff, or certainly her track record in court so far.
59.85. Oh, so you're still down a point. Mm-hmm.
To some extent, I think you come in with an agenda that says, what we've been doing
copy.
change course. You're gonna
Okay. NQ's respecting the fib.
So I think you have to until marriage and not just dismiss it because of problems that the agency had.
Doug, I remember my question. It's about the movement of markets and technology. Don't stop. And there's an argument to be made that things continue to evolve in a way that perhaps is more competitive. Does that?
Yeah, I think so. Okay. NQ's respecting the fib.
Well, I think, of course, antitrust laws always look for that Goldilocks spot. You don't want too much government intervention to interfere with the market. But on the other hand, if you have to, if you blow the big time to extinguish competitive threats before they have an opportunity to really get off the ground and mature, then you interfere with the competitive process.
Let's go.
Process of innovation and improvement. And that's what this case is about. It's a fact supported. There's a claim here that Amazon has been basically.
Ooh, yes. Oh, thank you.
Perhaps to shake things up and make some, new evolution
to hear from Amazon on their rebuttal and their facts, but for Amazon, what's the upshot? What's the worst case scenario for Amazon as a result of all this?
Well, I don't think this is going to
These two hilarious.
change. As I say, I think the stronger of the two claims has to do with the behavior regarding competitor pricing.
Solid rejection there.
If the government were to prevail, would probably lead to some kind of a remedy that would say, don't do this,
What was that last
like
one?
it again in the future. And whether that would have a big impact on Amazon's business, I don't know. I'm a little skeptical, frankly, that this is going to be a huge importance to Amazon's business, but it might affect the market.
But finally, Doug, does the complaint act as
Yeah,
yet
crack me
another
up. Good,
deterrent or
good
suppressant
bounce.
to M&A in tech? Or do you think corporates in that realm are sort of used to what the environment is right now?
I don't think this complaint has a whole lot to do with M&A. I think the proposed merger guidelines and the activities the agencies have been taking and threats they've
On
been
what?
making, as it were, in the merger area probably have a deterrent effect.
Oh,
But this
okay.
complaint is just one of those kind of one-off
Okay, well,
complaints
so
of a
far,
very
ooh, yo, such a
substantial
beautiful,
company,
oh my God,
and these
fed
days,
by,
those companies
yes,
start this
baby.
kind of litigation. I don't think that changes the M&A calculus.
Yeah, oh, yo, oh my God, yo, if she gets over, this morning's high,
Good to see you. Thanks.
or gets over a 14,800, Rap City, come on.
But it's been named the best idea of a top tech fund manager.
Ooh,
Which
come
one is
on,
why he's bullish on it.
come on, girl. Oh, did they just come to some kind of agreement? What is going on? Oh, y'all see this? Bruh, hold on, where's ES at? ES gotta get this work. ES gotta get this work. Give it to me. Come on. Oh, that was sexy. Neither one of you. Keep it going. Yes. Who's your daddy? Who's your daddy? Ooh. She printing almost 5850. Ooh. Bruh. Oh, come on. Keep it going. Keep it going. Oh, yo. Oh, yes. Yes. I just want to be like, yes, baby. I'm adding a long position on Euro USD and GBP USD. They should be reversing. Long GU and EU. Oh, ZL is over. Yes. Over 48.50. Let's go, baby. And EU. Let's go. Pay me like you owe me child support.
Chip stocks, they've underperformed the S&P despite what had been big gains, of course, earlier in the year. Casino prices not losing. It's not the latest. They had results from Micron that we're going to be getting afterwards.
Yes, and I'll be covering that. I mean, we see right now that memory prices may be turning the corner, but it's still
You.
and that is China. At the Cyberspace Administration of China banned certain Micron products. Micron
ES
management estimated that
43,
half of its
22
China
even.
revenue exposure were at risk.
Come on.
So that comes up to
Oh,
about almost
Lord.
13% of total revenues. This
Lord
August,
almighty.
we're
Go,
gonna be talking
girl.
about it
Go,
at 4
go,
p.m.
go,
Eastern.
go,
It's gonna be the
go.
first
Disrespect these
show
shorts.
of that ban. Despite the ban, though, analysts on Wall Street right now are expecting an improved environment for Micron. The stock is up about 2% just since its last reported June 28th versus the SMH ETF, which is down about 6% just in the same time frame. Why is that bullish call coming from so many analysts? Well, firstly, all three memory makers, Micron, SK Hynix, and Samsung, have been cutting supply to undership demand. And that's helping dynamic memory prices. Just at a conference that happened this past August, Micron management even said that the PC
The
and smartphone
Fed buy was
inventories
epic.
were in good shape.
Bro.
Although they did point out data center revenue still remains challenged, but nonetheless, we're starting to see
Son.
a little bit of a return. And another potential
What we
driver for
doing?
this
What
has been
is we
many
doing?
betting on a higher guidance. It's to do with
Oh.
AI, of course. Micron is working on new high bandwidth memory, which is enough to fuel all of these AI infrastructures. Micron expects, quote, meaningful revenues in fiscal 2024 and has already received strong feedback from customers. And since I brought up AI, no, I'm not going to pivot to NVIDIA. I'm going to pivot to AMD for a second. Why? Because CEO Lisa Su spoke at the Copen conference just last night and weighed in on the timing of this current AI cycle. Listen.
We're in such the early innings of how AI and especially generative AI is coming to market that I view this as like, a 10-year cycle that we're talking about, not like how many GPUs can you get in the next 2 to 4 quarters.
So not a flash in the pan when it comes to AI. Despite the mixed commentary that maybe we're going to see revenues from the AI push, it's all, NVIDIA that's only going to benefit. But we do know that AMD is launching their AI GPU chip in Q4 this year, but really is going to ramp up next year. So they could benefit. Maybe that's why she's pointing to this being a longer process.
Right. Well, their argument would be in many ways the pie is going to be big enough for so many to benefit, not just one company.
Precisely,
right?
and the price point for AMD's AI GPU is supposed to be a little bit cheaper. There's still questions on the specs on how they compare, but I think that the main selling point for NVIDIA is going to be the software. So let's see how
Go.
AMD
Y'all see this? Yes. Go on with your bad self.
In these data centers.
Exactly, which is what yesterday
Tell
I
them
wanted to
who's
talk
your
about.
daddy.
So many
Who's your
companies
daddy?
are factoring in the capex that goes into
Come
powering
on, baby.
all of these infrastructure. Sure, we could spend $20,000 on
Where we
X
at?
amount of GPUs and maybe have 100 GPUs in our unit.
Come
But to
on.
power the
Oh,
entire
come
system
on.
is
Let's
so
go. ES.
expensive,
Do
which
a
is why we're gonna
face
start-
rip.
Companies will start renting the GPU space in the cloud and they can benefit, but I think that's a huge factor in the coming years.
So Micron is in AI, AMD is in AI, NVIDIA is in AI. Are they in different stages, or are they powering different parts?
Powering different parts. So Micron is launches.
Damn, it's already 10:30. Look at that, huh? When there's a little bit of action, time flies. Jumping off. I know, yo. The other day, dude, it's like, yo, I'm looking at the time. I'm like, damn, like it's only 9:50. I'm like, damn, it felt a lot later, but yeah, bro, make my days early.
Visuals, images, all that, and they process very quickly. Versus CPUs, it's a little bit slower. It's getting a little technical. I guess.
GPUs over CPUs for sure. Yeah.
Yes.
Do you have a question, David?
No, all right, good. I'm
These days.
spaced out. And I'm
After 30 years, you're forgiven for that.
not answering texts.
All right, good. I thought maybe you were choked up because of your mother still. That was
Still here. I
such a
don't know.
moment.
She's not going to leave.
Christina, thank you. Speaking of Micron, a CNBC exclusive you won't want to miss tomorrow. CEO Sanjay Mehrotra joins us to break down the numbers, 9:30 a.m. Eastern. But up next, this beaten down stock has just been named a top idea. The tech fund manager who makes the call joins us to make the case next.
Jersey Senator Bob Menendez walked into a federal court this morning in New York to formally respond to corruption charges alleging he and his wife used his influence to pocket hundreds of thousands of dollars in bribes. He's expected to plead.
That excitement was shortly
The
lived.
State Department said that U.S. soldier Travis King is back in American custody this morning.
She was
North
like,
Korea
okay,
said today
that's all.
it would expel King just over 2 months after he intentionally ran across the border into the country. State media claimed King confessed he bolted to North Korea because he was disillusioned about the inhumane treatment and racial discrimination in the army. The U.S. has not responded to those claims. And Israeli citizens will soon be able to enter the U.S. visa-free. The Biden administration formally accepted the key ally into the visa waiver program starting on November 30th. It also means all U.S. citizens will be able to enter Israel without a visa as well. Sarah, to you.
All right, Silvana, thank you. Stocks are on pace for their worst month of the year now as higher yields continue to weigh on things. But that said, some of tech's been holding up. Check out Meta, for instance, still in the green for the month, also in the green for the quarter, and up triple digits on the year. Let's get to senior markets commentator Mike Santoli with the breakdown. It is interesting to see Meta go against the grain. Wow.
Yeah, earnings estimates are surging. I mean, they're up like 30% in the last 6 months. Alphabet also, even though it's backed off, their earnings estimates are rising. So it's a lesson about how tech is multiple things. It's not just the inverse of a bond yield. It's not just safety, although sometimes it has that aspect to it. And it's not just pure growth. I think it's all those things. I was looking at, if you look at from a little over 2 months ago, in late July, when you had the 10-year at 3 3/4. 375, that's really started to surge. July 19. Here's the performance of the
You
NASDAQ
see
100,
this?
the equal-weighted
Go,
S&P,
girl.
and
Go,
the equal-weighted consumer discretionary from that period. So you see that the real impact
Go on
of
with
higher
your bed,
yields is
so.
about what it's going to mean for the real economy, for the consumer, as opposed to just kind of the arithmetic of what it means for secular growth valuations. This month, tech's backed off a little bit more, but in general, mega cap growth as a category has held its outperformance since June 1st. So it's kind of just gone flat versus the market since June 1st. So there's a lot going on. The yield sensitivity of the overall market is extreme right now. And tech's certainly not immune to that, but it's a more, I guess, nuanced picture than that. Glad you mentioned the NDX because Goldman today points out 10% drawdown.
Yes.
About as bad as we've had for say, the last year. Yes. If you're in a bull market, it's usually
She still got some steam and she ain't done yet. She ain't done yet.
Everyone's gauging that readout as yesterday's close was coming into view. Which was, yep, we're starting to see the washout position. Short term doesn't mean buying, but it means that you have the recipe for a little bit of bounce. On the flip side of that, everyone also focused on a little bit of the structural short-term fragility in the market. So we have this self-reinforcing selling going
Let's
on.
go. Let's go. Oh my god, yo, once ES breaks 43.35,
the knowledge of those flows and the
game
knowledge of
over.
those levels
Game
that everybody
over.
has at all times on their screen. So it creates this greater awareness and maybe a greater, I think, nervousness around them. That's how you get the market over. So it happened last October. I'm not saying we have to go that deep, but it seems like that's the process that's underway.
We have equal weight versus the S&P, which leads to top 10 now, I think, are
Stand up for me.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. So it's become interesting. I was less concerned about that when you see both those lines go. If the equal weight's going up less than the mega cap or the market cap weight, okay, fine. Uptrends, that's okay. It's just about where you're actually making more and outperforming. But now you've seen some breakdowns on the equal weight. You've seen small caps sort of look like they're no longer in an uptrend. And that creates, depending on your view, either that's where you'd want to hunt if we're going to get a big market snapback, or it means the underpinnings of the overall market is not really, being great. And I think no matter how you think about things, this has all along been an underperforming bull market. If we're calling it a bull market since last October, it's been an unimpressive one. Why? Well, I think I've been saying since then, it was not really a comprehensive wash. You didn't really reset valuations that much. You didn't set the market up for multiple years of amazing returns, which is usually what a bear market does. But this was a non-recessionary 20% drop.
Look at
Usually you
gold.
get 30%.
Nice little bounce off of 1902.
I would only add oil prices to your first chart because I think that's why consumer discretionary has been so weak as well, not just yields.
Oh, no, of course not. It's all of it. I kind of look at every direction you look, it doesn't look like you have daylight. And that has been energy prices, it's been yields, and it's been the dollar. Although as a share of disposable income, it's not critical.
And even ES as well. Damn.
Because I also feel that nobody's gonna. I can't imagine we look back and say the bear market of the bull market of 2023.
Even ES bounced off the 70 the 70 fib.
But rates just got too high. That's not how it ends. The economy either has to succumb or we're okay.
Keep going up, baby girl. Keep going up.
Stocks, of course, are on track for a losing quarter. How are investors positioning into Q4? Let's get over to Leslie Picker with the special guest. Hey, Leslie.
Well, thank you so much. I'm joined now by Gil Simon of Soma Equity. Thank you so much for being here, Gil. Fresh off of your Soma presentation in San Francisco, which I want to get to in just a moment. But maybe if we could kick things off kind of where they left it in that last conversation with Mike Santoli about the broader market. As a tech-focused investor, I'm sure you have seen some volatility over the past few years or so. The NASDAQ, of course, rebounding a bit today, sliding yesterday. Investors still grappling with this idea of higher for longer, what that means for tech valuations. How are you screening for stocks in the current environment? Is it profitability? Is it growth? Are there other factors that you're looking for? And how is your portfolio positioned in terms of?
I don't know. I don't trust it with this gap, bro. I mean, we're looking with a gap fill all the way down to 2.658. I wouldn't feel comfortable. I don't feel comfortable with that gas up here.
There's been a flight to safety, a flight to.
Yeah, I'm looking at NGX23.
Been cost cutting, we have scale. People just want predictability in this market. The factor that we're actually looking for, that we've been optimizing for, is duration.
15-minute, cause NGV23 expired. And NGX23 is the one that came into play, and the gap. So yesterday when it opened, because like I saw the gap and I almost took a short, but then I remember sometimes NQ, like, it doesn't play nice where it will. I'm sorry, not NG. I'm sorry, NG. Yeah, so I saw the gap up on NG yesterday, and I'm like, I know sometimes it'll keep running before it retraces. I was like, I didn't even want to touch it. But yeah, but the gap fill on the 15-minute time frame is going to be at 2.66. So I'm going to create an alert for that.
It was a really darling stock when it came public. It direct listed. It was a play on this idea of the metaverse, which everyone was talking about a couple of years ago. We think there are a couple of aspects that people don't appreciate about this company or don't fully understand. One is the scale that it's built to. So it's now a 17-year-old company. It has 300 million users, almost 70 million daily unique
She sure is. Just can't get above this.
Since before the pandemic. Those users are engaged as high, at levels even.
Yeah, after 11, bro, I might just call it a day.
At an average of over
I'm not going to sit here and continue playing around with this.
The other thing that we think people don't fully understand is that it's actually a great business model. They don't create games themselves. What they do is attract.
Bro, yeah, they are just playing real dirty today. Yesterday, barely any movements, and then today it's just.
To attract those developers, there's built-in audience already on the platform, and all of that should lead to really high profitability. The problem is, in the short run, the company has been investing significantly to catch up with some of the big growth that they've seen in users since the pandemic, but also several meaningful initiatives, including layering in advertising onto the network for the first time, including layering in AI to help developers make games, as well as trying to age up the user of the platform, which are around 13 years old today. So a lot of initiatives, a lot of investment spending. We think that the peak of the investment spending now, and the company continues to grow really nicely into this big kind of social media platform, not just, I think, what a lot of investors view as a gaming company.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying in terms of the engagement and AI overlay. You say this is going to be a double from current levels. At what point does that peak investment spending ultimately filter through into the fundamentals? And at what point do you think the broader market will appreciate it? And I should point out that the stock is now up about 2%, and it's been steadily climbing higher since you kind of describing your case here.
Good. I should come on more often then. So I hope it's not my kids buying stock. So what I think is going to happen this year looks like the trough in their margins. So if you look at their business. Uber's advantage with Uber Eats. So the stock is up nicely this year. I think it's just starting to get respect in the street. If you've been following the story the last few years, it's been a headache of a stock. I think a lot of investors owned it even before it was public. And the last few years has been a really tough period of time to own it because it came out of the gates out of its IPO with a lot of question marks. If you remember the management turnover that they had. And of course, the pandemic really threw a wrench into their growth. So, in addition to also regulatory questions, which have always kind of circled around this company, and
right back to it.
Issues. So we think the company's starting to get some respect. We see a path still for the stock to double from here.
Yeah. So you've got Uber, which suffered in the pandemic, but now up nicely, and Roblox, which benefited the pandemic, now down, but you think it has room for the upside. Gil, thank you so much. I'm going to send it back over to Sarah.
Thank you, Leslie Hill. After the break, the read on retail. Target shutting stores. And what cost those results say about the consumer when we come back? But first, there's still time to register for the Delivering Alpha Investors
Guess
Summit
what, Chili?
that we host to kick off tomorrow in New York City. You can scan the QR code right there on the screen or visit cnbcevents.com/Delivering Alpha. We'll be right back.
Let's see. I'm getting closer to the London close. She might get released after that. But I'm still seeing divergence because ES is still dropping. NAS is catching a little bounce. Dow Jones is still dropping. Whew. Today's just one of those days. I'm gonna go in a few. I got a few things to do. I got a 11 o'clock meeting. Then I gotta hit the bank. I'll probably hit the bank after the gym.
The answer is no. Our inventory shrink has increased by a couple of basis points, in part we believe due to the rollout of self-checkout. Over the past year, it has increased by less than 1 basis point more. So no, thankfully not a big issue for us.
That was Costco CFO alluding to this idea of theft that we've been hearing from retailers on the conference call, noting not a big issue for Costco. It did come just hours after Target announced plans to close 9 stores across the country due to high theft levels. Our Courtney Reagan joins us with the retail breakdown. Courtney, I do wonder how much of it is Target's urban exposure, the fact that it is more heavily weighted in cities like Portland and San Francisco than a Costco. Is that true?
Yeah, exactly. I think that is a good point to kind of go through geographies and some of the reasons. So ironically, where Target is closing one of those New York stores, there was the Costco in that same shopping center. So shrink or inventory loss, particularly theft, one kind of shrink, has really gotten a lot of attention recently from retailers. They're calling it out like they never really have before. But it's not an issue for all retailers like we just talked about with Costco. There really wasn't pressure on gross margins from shrink for that retailer or theft as a source of shrink. We heard from the CFO, but also the membership model likely has something to do with it. You have to have a membership to be able to go in and easily shop there. Now, Costco beat expectations for profit and sales, membership free revenue as well as the fourth quarter just reported. But like other retailers, Costco didn't allow shrink in weaker sales, non-big ticket items. That weighed on Costco's online sales in particular. They over-index those type of goods in their e-commerce site. CFO Richard Galante did say it's 1 ounce gold bars usually sell out in a couple hours on its website to per customer. Shrink and retail theft, though, does remain in focus because many retailers are pointing to it as an issue to varying degrees. While that latest annual NRF survey out Tuesday showed theft was largely in line with past years, at least as a percentage of shrink in the retail industry.
Hello? Hey, what's up, bro?
increase over the last
Yellow. Bro. Yeah, I was on mute. I had a phone call. Okay.
The upside of having Latino corporate directors on your board.
There goes NASDAQ.
The business case versus the diversity case, which is substantial growth in a market that hasn't been tapped. The con is that you won't make money. In a new mainstream economy that is now 25% of the population by 2050, if you're not playing in the game, you're going to be out.
Yo, what it do? ZL looking saucy.
General Mills, Biogen, Bank of San Francisco for having two or more Latinos on the board. Bank of America CEO Brian Moynihan.
Yep, she did. ES is now below 4305.
Does it for this hour, Squawk on the Street. Another big hour straight ahead.
All right. Yeah, I'm about to jump off this stream. Cool. Oh, yesterday's low. It's close, so we'll probably end up seeing another, just like yesterday, another bounce towards the end of the day. But ladies and gentlemen, that is it for me. I have to jump off and hop on a few calls. Just keep an eye for the reversal. As long as price remains above yesterday's low, there's a very high probability we're going to end up having a nice reversal and possibly taking out this morning's high. So keep a lookout for that. Other than that, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Just a heads up, Friday, I won't be streaming on Friday. So after tomorrow, I'll try to stream a little bit longer tomorrow, probably to like 2 p.m. But just a heads up, Friday, I will be unavailable. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. For those of you guys that are up on the day, good work. Keep your profits, don't give none back, and go do something else. Peace.